their strengths and weaknesses. NX had a lot of their most picked champions throughout this tournament banned out, but they proved that they can still win with unconventional team comps or more, maybe a little bit different champions as well. So I'm very happy with this.
Yeah, that was really good. Really good game. You've seen that Noxius is taking the advantage quite early. They're quite a strong team with very flexible lineups. So it's going to be interesting. I want to see what the bans are going to be for this next game. We saw a lot of focused target bans from what we thought teams were good at. But now that they've had a taste of the enemy's team and they kind of have a feel for how they play, it'll be interesting to see if we see similar bans or completely different bans.
Yeah, so we're getting into this as soon as humanly possible. We should actually have the lobby open for you guys right now. That's just because this is a best of 5, and we want to get these games rolling and make it short, the least amount of time possible, just so that the players not waiting around for us, or neither are the fans. So we are already seeing the first ban coming out, and Elise is a respect ban against NX Dust, and I feel like that's probably a good decision to try to take that away from him.
Yeah, Elise, really powerful hero for that team. We've seen them use it effectively top and in jungle now. So when you do see that Elise pick up, you don't know where it's going to go. It is a trouble, and they're really good in the Elise. Elise will be nerfed quite soon, but in the meantime, she's still super powerful. The ability just to tower dive, finish up those kills is so strong. We see the Jace being banned too. I'm pretty sure no one's too surprised with that. That Jace was an absolute nightmare. And we still see the Shen and Akali bans. So they're going for similar bans. They were quite happy with the last game played out, so they're not afraid to just keep on going. They're going to get rid of their Akali, taking out Royal Chocobo's hero that he's been dominating this tournament with. Shen, I think they just don't like to play against. They don't like that split push. They seem to do really well together as a team in team fights, and the wombo combos when they put it together, I just don't think they want to deal with Shen and want to get rid of him. Remove the chance of a cheese split push. And the Ashe ban, I'm surprised at that.
So, I was about to say that they haven't banned Zac or Orianna, all those wombo combo champions that NX just seem to love, but they did ban out Elise, Jason, Ashe, and then pick Zac themselves. So what
nice
a strategy.
Play.
Yeah.
Really good play. The idea to remove Zac, because you know if they left that Zac open, they probably would have grabbed Zac Ori straight off the bat in their first 2 picks. I reckon they're confident with that strategy to do so. So they're obviously thinking about it. I am surprised with the Ashe ban. I feel like they could have played around it. They have been doing all right versus the Ashe. I thought so. But obviously they found Ashe a problem, so there's something that I'm not seeing. I trust them more than me, so they've definitely got a reason to do so. But an interesting ban nevertheless.
Yeah, so well played. Now that Zeratul has locked in the Zac, Nautilus is being soft locked, and we've seen how effective NX Dust can be on that Nautilus. I know it's the champion that he got into high diamond with, so I'm pretty sure that is going to be locked in. I'm just waiting to see who this next champion is as well. It looks like it might be a Rise. Have we seen a Rise from Noxius Gaming today? I don't think we have.
From Noxius Gaming, I don't believe so. We saw them play against a Rise, which they dealt with very well, very effectively, in fact, sending a brand top. So we have not actually seen them run a Rise, but if I can assume, it's going to be very scary, and it's not something you want to take to late game, that's for sure. Not go against, they want to take it to late game, they want to take Rise as late as they can, they don't mind, that guy's just going to get humongous.
Yeah, most definitely. And I thought we were going to see a Thresh Prince of Bel-Air, but we're not, we're going to see an Ezreal. How disappointing. I was looking forward to seeing the Thresh Prince rather. Such a cool champion. And I know he's one of your favorites. People's Whisper plays a pretty mad Thresh, although we both have a bit of a pet peeve with Wright's naming of...
That's growing on me. The box is growing on me. It's growing on me a little bit.
Come on, guys.
It's all about play these days, I reckon. I reckon play is just the most coolest spell out. It does so much for just ruining team fights.
It just plays, yeah, man.
Causing trouble, man. It's no longer the plays, it's about the plays, my friend. Telling you straight up. But they're going to looking like they want the Janna instead.
Kratos, it caught me. I was sitting with that joke for weeks, for months. The Thresh Prince of Bel-Air, and now I finally had a chance to use it. And only you commented on it. I'm so disappointed. Alright, so Zyra and Tristana have been locked in. Oh my god, the scaling that next level gaming, Noxius Gaming have is really just next level, is Tristana and Rise. You do not want to let these champions get some farm. They're going to be absolutely amazing in the late game. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw
I'm not going to be afraid to take the late.
Jasmine Teely playing one of his like traditional huge tanks in the top lane, just so there's a little bit more between Team VGR.Black and Noxius Gaming. They want to have another tank so that Rise and Tristana can just go wild and do what they do best. So we're seeing a green blob.
And do it this time. Don't tease us. Lock it in, mate. Lock in that Heimerdinger. It is the secret you need, mate. That's what you were lacking last game. You just need some turrets, a couple of grenades. You'll be sorted. Please lock in that Heimerdinger. We would love to see it. But I don't think it's going to happen.
Alright, so Cassidy has been locked in by Royal Chocobo. That is a pretty cool lane. I've been told in the past that Rise beats Cassidy early. And I feel like I can see that because Cassidy goes into Silence Rise pre-level 6, but Rise just wombos his combo, rolls his face across the keyboard, and can do so much damage. So definitely pre-6, Rise has the lane controlled there.
Yeah, and on top of that, Rise's weakness is that he doesn't have a lot of range in his spells, but the problem with Cassidy is he is actually a melee hero, so he does need to come in close, so he will be walking up close to Rise, and we're gonna, I don't know where this is going. What hero are we gonna see? Maybe we're actually looking at a mid-Zara, and we're gonna go support Ellie. That would be cool, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. It's just gonna be the Kennen, I believe. We have seen him play Kennen before, and it was really effective.
It was really effective. He had a low KDA, but was in there for every single team fight, zoning people and doing amazing stuff. So big props to him for picking that again. Do you think it's sad how we haven't seen a Rumble? And this tournament is called Rumble in the Oceanic Jungle.
I did see a Rumble was picked up, but it was not on stream. It had been played one of the games. However, it unfortunately was an unsuccessful Rumble. So Rumble's shining moment in his own tournament was unsuccessful. I'm sorry to say it, Rumble. It's just not been your tournament.
Alright, 25 seconds until we start the delay, and we get to talk a little bit about these summoner spells that are being picked up. So, what are you thinking of these team cons at face value? Are you with me in that Tristana and Rise are just going to scale better than anyone on VGR.Black?
I am with you in the fact that Nautilus is absolutely scary because we saw this guy play before and he absolutely ripped up. But you're definitely right. The late game is definitely in Noxius' hands with that lineup. And I do believe it scales a lot better. They do have a Cassidy, and Cassidy can always become quite scary and big. Israel, still a decent damage ADC, can spit out a lot. We have seen people not opting for the blue build we've seen. I think it's had some recent nerfs, so people going more for the Bloodthirster it seems. Will be interesting to see where he goes with this Israel. But I do agree with you, most definitely. The late game is definitely in the hands of the Noxius.
Most definitely, man. So, the delay has started. The summoner spells that I wanted to talk about is that there are 2 ignites being run on Noxius Gaming. So, an ignite on Kennen and an ignite on Rise. And I feel like you need those. You definitely need an ignite to stop this Renekton from snowballing on top of you. And I feel like you almost need an ignite on Zac as well. Otherwise he's going to run around picking up his blobs all team fight and be nigh unkillable. So, good choices there. There isn't a cleanse on Tristana, but I'm not sure you need one this game. There isn't a high amount of CC that VGR.Black are bringing to the table. They have a couple of knockups, and they have a stun on Renekton, and they have a silence from Cassidy, but otherwise, I feel like this is definitely a game you could take barrier in.
Yeah, it definitely is a game you can run barrier, especially because they've got the Janna as the support. So it's just going to be the tornado knockups. There's not going to be a big stun that's going to really catch you out. And the barriers damage reduction, stopping those the bursts coming through, will probably be a lot more successful than running the cleanse. So I can understand why he's chosen barrier over the cleanse in this matchup.
Yeah, I just like that pickup. I think I always feel really bad when I do take barrier. I feel like there's almost no options anymore for an AD carry. Like, you're forced into taking that barrier because you don't know what kind of CC the other team is going to be bringing to the table. I prefer cleanse myself personally. I actually prefer ignite. I like these aggressive summoner spells. You just so rarely get to see it, so rarely get to play it. And I'm excited to see a game where barrier is the best choice rather than one you just have to take. And it feels like this game is the game that you can just take barrier.
Yeah, it's definitely a good choice. And they do have the teleport, though, up on the Cassidy, and that gives them a little bit of global presence. There's no teleport to match that, so if he goes teleporting off, Rise, if Rise is mid, will have to chase him down and try rotate his way down to the lanes rather than instantly appearing there. So Royal Chocobo has the opportunity to put the games in his hands and really mix things up with some teleport ganks with the Cassidy. So hopefully he can pull that off and use teleport to its maximum potential rather than just using it to quickly get back to lane. as can happen if you're having a hard time. So I'm hoping he can get a bit of roll, get this Cassidy big. We can see a really cool Cass game, but you never know. He's going to have a hard time up against this Rise, and I'm sure they want to punish him before that happens.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Although, as I was saying before, I really do feel like Rise wins that lane pre-6, unless the Zac is going to set up his Doran tent and just camp the mid lane, which is definitely a possibility. So, it'll be really cool to see what happens. I'm really looking forward to it. Alright, and the delay has ended, and we will be getting into this loading screen and seeing what skins these players are taking, which is always an exciting part of the game.
It's my favorite part of the game. Love the skins. Hoping to see something cool. I'm hoping for a pre-void Cassidy. That's my guess. I want to see that.
Oh, it's got to be the Harbinger. Has to be the Harbinger. That's such a cool
pre-void.
Skin.
You can see his nipples.
Oh, that's all.
Only in game though. Only in game. Not on the screen.
Getting the inside information. It is going to be a Harbinger Cassidy.
Oh, let me down. No nipple Cassidy today.
Right.
We got the Dark Crystal Rise coming out, the Astro Nautilus, the Rocket Girl Tristana, the Harbinger Cassidy, Victorious Jana, and Frosted Israel. The poor man's skin, the Frosted Israel.
Frosted Israel was good before Pulsefire came out, so maybe, just maybe, he bought it, then Pulsefire came out and he didn't like it. So we can see a tactical skin coming out.
Yeah, he was buying skins before it was cool. He's up in his Ez game. Maybe he's just a classic Ez player, loves the skin, didn't want the Pulsefire, too cool for it.
Alright, so the skins are coming out. I really do like Dark Crystal Rise. I feel like that might even be cooler looking than Triumphant Rise, but it definitely doesn't have the swag factor that goes with it.
No, it definitely doesn't have that swag factor of claiming I've won a tournament. Look at my skin. You can't have this. But Dark Crystal Rise definitely looks really cool.
Alright,
no Swamp Kenan that I know you love.
Swamp Kenan? I like the Arctic Ops one, is it called? Like the one where he's like an icy ninja. I have no idea what the skin's actually called. It's very cool. Alright guys, and we are seeing everyone showing 100% on my screen, so we should be into this game so shortly. Hope you guys are enjoying it. This is Oceanic Gaming's Rumble in the Oceanic Jungle. There are some cool prizes up for grabs. First place takes away $500, $100 RP, and the Triumphant Rise skins. And I have no idea what second place takes away. I'm looking that up for you right now. And off the top of my head, I'm not so good. Second place gets $200, $75 RP. Third place takes away $100 and $50 RP. And fourth place just takes away $25 RP. So some good prizes, over $1,000 in prizes for the entire tournament. And it's a pretty good one for it all being online, all being done just over the weekend. So I hope you have enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed seeing how much better the Oceanic teams were than my expectations. For the past couple of tournaments, we've had just a couple of teams being the throne holders, really. We've seen VGN and VGR take number 1 or number 2 in pretty much every tournament in New Zealand in the past 6 or 7 months. And it's really cool to see some extra teams coming in and showing off what they can do, and they're definitely very, very strong.
Yeah, there's been some really well-matched games, there's really balanced games, it's been a really good tournament, and regardless of the prizes, it's a really good time for all these teams to get a lot of practice in for the even bigger tournaments that are definitely going to follow in this growing scene. So these guys are getting some good practice. There's no better way to learn than actually enter tournaments. So if you have a team, you should be entering, even if you're good or not, just to improve your skills, because nothing will home them in like actually playing and seeing what the top teams do and giving a go against them, because you never know what surprising upsets you and your friends could cause. So if you've got a team, always a good time to just enter, even if you're not going to be winning, just to have some fun.
Yeah, most definitely. Alright, so Cassidy sitting up with the blue buff. It looks like Zac is starting from blue. That's not very traditional unless we're seeing a lane swap, and it looks like we are indeed. So usually the jungler starts from wherever his AD carry and his support is closest to, and that's just so you get the best leash humanly possible. So it looks like we are going to have the lane swap. Renekton is going to be playing 1v2 in the spot lane. Israel and Jana is going to play 2v1 in this top lane. And hopefully it goes well for them. In my opinion, Kenan is actually better than Renekton in a 1v2 scenario. But this is exchange being initiated by... Oh wow, it's actually Israel and Jana in the mid lane. Cassidy versus Kenan in the top lane. We are seeing some very Korean meta lanes right now. So I'm just
Well,
gonna
obviously, maybe you're right about that. Rise completely countering Cassidy, and maybe Royal Chocobo did not want to go against it, and preferring that top lane. Iz and Janna shouldn't have too much problem going against Rise, and as long as Renekton can hold off Tristana and Zara, it should work out all right.
And wow, yeah, so Renekton, I think, is going to have a hard time in this 1v2. However, Rise is probably going to have a harder time as well. Israel has so much poke, has already been doing really well. It looks like Rise is CSing alright under the turret though, and the wave is being pushed up pretty aggressively. But yeah, Cassidy is going to be okay against the cannon in my opinion.
And I think they want to get that Cassidy big. You definitely do. You want him to get enough, so you can just, in that mid game, really start ripping people up and causing all sorts of trouble. And he has that teleport, so he can bring his good start across to the other lanes and really make impact. So I think that's what they're looking for, impacts Cassidy play, and that's why they're trying to give him the good lane. In the meantime, they also believe that Rise will have a harder time in that 1v2. However, it is proving not to be too easy for Renekton, but he is going to go up and try to get a little bit of harassment on that Tristana, but it does hurt him a lot more. So they have got the jungle come down to help him out. They don't want this tower to fall first. That's what it's all about. You want to keep your tower up so they can't just keep lane swapping and gain that advantage.
Yeah, this Renekton is just clearing the minion wave. Zach has come down to help him out, which is very nice of him. It's pretty much what you're standardly supposed to do as the jungler in this kind of scenario. You arrive in the lane.
We found the same thing. Nautilus did the same thing to the mid as well. So while they're both just helping out that 1v2 lane, making sure that that tower doesn't take too much aggressive. Actually, Royal Chocobo's actually tower's taking a little bit of damage, but he's actually hurting that Kenan quite bad. So it's going to be alright for him in that top lane.
Yeah. Alright, guys. So Rise jumping on, Israel jumping on this Rise in the mid lane. The ignite does go down. Rise hasn't used flash, has to flash.
He has now, has to flash. From it, he doesn't want to take any more damage. Scared of getting picked off there for that first blood. Did get past, and here it goes to the bot lane. It was actually Renekton. He is going to die to the passive from Zara, but they do pick up that first blood kill. Zach's going to be alright too. I believe he has his passive up, so he is definitely going to be fine, but they will be happy with that pickup. That's first blood. It's alright, they traded. However, it is upsetting that Tristana is around. She is still going to get farmed. She didn't get the kill though. It did go to the passive of Zara. So not too much gold gone to the carry, but the first blood finally getting picked up.
Nautilus in the top lane as well. Flashes to get a nice stretch line, and NX does pick up Royal Chocobo's Cassidy. Well played.
Yeah, really good. Their ganks are coming out now, and the junglers are starting to make impact, and that's what they need to do. Cassidy going down early was not what they wanted. They tried to give him the good lane for himself, and now that tower's going to take a little bit of harassment.
I think Cassidy and Nautilus might actually be able to get this turret. They have quite a big wave arriving. Actually, I take that back completely. Cassidy does have teleport, and it was probably a good use of the teleport as well. Wow, NX does getting some damage onto Royal Chocobo. It's very scary.
That is what I was talking about. He has been forced to use his teleport to get back in lane and save his towers, which does restrict him from making ganks, but at the moment they really did need to keep that tower up. They did not want to lose it this early, so it was a good decision to use that tele.
Yeah, it was. I've got a couple of people saying that leaving at 5 for work. These videos will all be on YouTube. So I've pasted the link into chat. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and you'll get the email when the videos come out. So you get, insider information.
And we're going to see a fight. It's Rise getting hurt mid. He is going to go down straight to the Israel. He tried to take out Janna, but was unsuccessful. So they're going to be happy. That's a 1-for-0 exchange and a kill to the ADC. So that's really good. That's the kill they wanted.
This lane is really working out for them, isn't it? Like, this Israel and Janna are doing so well against this Rise. Surprisingly well, in my opinion. And that was the first
and it's a
death
really
of
good
Rise.
decision. Cassidy would have had a hard time, and they may have not even enjoyed that lane too much against a Tristana and a Zara as well. So they found themselves an easy lane, and they're doing well. They want to keep picking up kills and holding back that Rise.
Sounds good. So Israel has just cleared everything in the mid wave and almost looked like he was going to go back. He's sitting on quite a bit of gold, 700 gold at the moment, so he can go buy a tier if that is his build path. I wouldn't be surprised to see him buy that very shortly so he can start stacking it. And he's spamming his taunt in the mid lane, as you do.
In the meantime, we see the ADC Tristana rotating up to the mid lane. I don't know whether they may be just tending to lane swap and running the ADs mid support versus support. They're moving the Kenan down to take on the Renekton. So they are just going to lane swap it. Gonna be fun. A little AD mid lane doesn't happen too often, but when it does, I'm sure they enjoy it, mixing it up a bit. Let's see how well they can control the mid. A little bit different to the bot, but still the general lane should apply. They should know what to do here. It should be too easy. Too easy, not really what I meant to say there, but it should be normal to them. They should know how to behave in the situation.
Yeah, so AD carry against AD carry, supports against support, and Zach in the top lane.
And here we go, at the top, what a jump, following up. Rise could be in trouble here. It's going to go to Cass. He's going to be happy with this kill. Come on, get it. Rift walk. There we go. Gets the kill. Going to take a bit of damage from the tower, but he will be alright. And they're going to want to pick up kills in that Cassidy and try to get him that AP quick.
And well played by the Zach. Very, very patient. I guess you could say he waited for it. And he did get the kill. Very kind of him to gift it to the Cassidy as well. Get the Cassidy ahead, and that's exactly what you want.
Yeah, because the gold on the Zach's just going to go towards those jungle items, most likely going to get up that Aegis. So I think they want to get the big carry items in first. That's a really good idea to prioritize where your gold goes.
And Cassidy, I'm not sure I like this actually. He's picked up a Negatron cloak this early in the game. I mean, he is against a double AP composition, but I still feel like you should be building damage early on, unless he feels like he's really suffering against both Rise and Kinnan, in which case it is more acceptable to pick up that Negatron cloak.
The important thing is, though, he does have his tears, so he's just going to be interested in stacking that up, and that's what's really important. If he can get a big Zero stuff out, that's going to really help him out, really get that AP really high. If this game goes late enough, you can expect to see an 800 AP Cassidy, and that is really scary stuff.
That's what you want to see, yeah. So, Renekton just clearing waves in the bot lane. It's a little bit behind in CS. He's 28 to Kinnan's 53. Kinnan's also rushing that Zhonya's incredibly fast, and we are seeing Jack bounce around in this mid lane. Are they going to be able to hold
He's going to get knocked back by the rocket jump, and
Wow.
there we go, there is ult, picking up the Zara. They're going to back off, try not to take the damage from her bastard. They do succeed in dropping it, but that's the Iz ult where you just weapon out a kill. That's another kill towards Iz. They're going to be happy, and this mid lane, this lane swap has really worked out for them.
Wow, in the bot lane though, Renekton is getting ignited as running under turret. Is the ignite going to kill him? And it is not. Well played by both Nautilus and Kinnan. 85 more damage, and they would have secured that kill.
Yeah, it's a big thing that he survived though, not giving away that gold, and they are going to rotate bot to try to protect that tower, so they should be able to keep it up, hopefully. They only have a Janna and a low health Zac though, so it is going to be a little bit difficult, but the Tornado is going to split on the creeps, do a bit of damage. They just want to stall it till Renekton can come back. It is really good that he survived though. That would have been a really big loss for them if that had gone down. If he had gone down, sorry.
Yeah, so Zac is now holding the bot lane against this Kinnan. The turret has taken a lot of HP though, a lot of damage rather. It didn't get additional HP from this siege. That would be really imbalanced. Kinnan just wave clearing. He has pretty good wave clear at the moment. Kinnan actually doing much better than I thought he would. I guess every single lane that you put him in, against the AD carry and the support, against the Renekton or against the Cassidy, he was going to do well in. Just a very clever pickup. This Kinnan seems to be in his element this game, which is always...
Yeah, and Kennan's always a really annoying hero to try chase. He can get away so quickly, he can be so elusive. He's such a tricky little hero, and I'm not surprised they're picking him up, and he's such a popular choice at the moment.
And Kinnan now heading back down to the bot lane. Renekton is shoving the wave up.
We're going to see another big Iz ult come out. There's Zara's in trouble. She's got to run. They're just missing out on the Israel Q. Almost killing her, but she's got to back off. That lane scares her. That burst really hurts him, Israel. He can really just spit out that damage. And it looks like he might be going towards a Triforce. Is that right? He's got a phage.
Let me have a look. It could indeed be a Triforce. It could be some variant that I haven't thought of. I think the only items it builds into are Frozen Metal and Triforce, so I wouldn't be surprised to see it.
Frozen Mallet would be the surprising pickup, so I would assume to be a Triforce, but that is interesting. Haven't seen a Triforce, at least a straight Triforce Israel in quite some time. They are going to get Dragon at this point. It's just going to be the jungler Zac hitting it up with the Java. Oh, then here we go. Israel doing a little bit of damage over the top of his Qs. He's going to jump in, help out with the grid ace. You see he is. He's got the red buff too, so he's feeling really pretty. There's the Dragon down, so they're going to be happy with that. They're starting to control the map, and they're doing really well. It was this lane switch mid that really brought them back into the game, and it's been super successful. There is a ward down bot by people, so they're going to see this game. They're just going to give up on it. They're not going to get that Keenan. He's too elusive, too tricky to hold down. And in the meantime, Nautilus is making his way down bot. Zara is heading there too, but they are just going to back off. There is going to be no fight there. But good rotation from the team, making sure everyone's all right. And this Israel just getting really big in the mid lane.
Yeah, and VGR.Black have really made a name for themselves doing these lane swaps. It's definitely worked out for them. I feel like the Cannon pick was so good that they had to do something like this, and it was a brilliant idea to play the more Korean style of putting your AD carry and your support in the mid lane, and it's definitely panned out. They've got a couple of kills on the rise because of it, and I'm definitely liking it. I'm hoping to see more meta-breaking stuff like this because it's very cool.
Yeah, I love the mix-up of the lanes. It's one of the problems Loa is starting to have, but it's actually been broken out because people are learning the strengths and mixing things up of having such obvious laning phase. But the more it mixes up, the more exciting it gets, makes it more unpredictable for teams of where it's going to go, and makes drafting a whole lot more skillful. So I really encourage lane swapping and new ideas like this.
Kennen just clearing the waves. Zach is actually camping around the mid lane, waiting for something to happen.
Cassidy has put in the beats on the rise, but there is going to be a rotation from the Nautilus to make sure he's alright.
Zach does jump in though, getting some nice damage down. Jana is being as well. Ezreal managed to pick up a red buff in the middle of all that action. I'm not sure when he got it. Maybe he stole it away. But yeah, good stuff. And it is going to be a Triforce first item we're going to see on this Ezreal. He's already picked up his Sheen as well. So a very Season 2-esque Ezreal we're going to see here.
Yeah, it's really cool to see. I'm liking it. We've actually seen Triforce be used a bit. Ashen picked it up in an earlier game for an item that they thought was dying out and trying to bring it back in. It's definitely got a little bit of life in Oceanic. We're bringing Triforce back, baby, and it's cool to see. It was always a really cool item. Got out favored by Frosty Gloves and other things, but it's really cool to see it come back into the game and have effect, and I'm really cool to see it on an Ezreal. Really interesting play. We got the Alligator taking a lot of damage from this Kennen. This Kennen is really strong down bot lane. He's really causing them a bit of trouble, and it won't be long to that bot tower's actually siege down. So they're going to need to do something about it. That Kennen is just an absolute nightmare at the moment. Yeah,
and Rinus is just in the bot lane pushing the minions back, and the Kennen is doing really well. I'm surprised he didn't get a needlessly large rod as his next item. He actually picked up an Amp Tome. I'm not sure what he's going to build that into, so...
Maybe he's feeling super confident, going for a Magi-Eyes. That'd be always cool to see, but I would be really surprised if he did that. But that'd be funny. Everyone loves the old snowball builds. They are going to get this tower really easy. Rise came down to help out. It may not be necessary, but he's just guaranteeing it. He's got a blue buff too, so he's feeling really happy. And here we go. Zach's been initiated on. He's taking a bit of damage, but they're not going to follow that up. They're not too sure what's over the hill, and Rise is on his way up. So there could be something happening mid. There's a lot of people rotating towards there. In the meantime, Nautilus is just having a bit of fun with Cassidy. Not too much happening top. Just farming. Renekton bot, just holding that lane, trying to get the creeps. So it's just the 3 heroes mid. First to third two. Zach's hanging around though. He's just getting what experience he can, but making sure he's ready if something happens that he can leap on. But it looks like both teams can't find a way to start a fight here, and they're just going to go for the creeping and trying to keep their levels up.
Yeah, 14-2 in favor of VGR.Black. Noxius Gaming definitely can bring this back though. We did talk a little bit about that scaling. Tristana has been unstoppable so far, and just getting that CS up. She's sitting on 113 compared to Ezreal's 140. But I'm not sure if that matters because she's going to be building more effective items into late games.
And it looks like, if you look at top, Royal Choke was doing so much damage to this Kennen. Once a big threat, it feels like the one lane he can't handle is this Cassidy top, but it feels like they want him to deal with him because he's such a threat. They're struggling to deal with him. He actually just punished that Kennen so badly. Kennen was forced to instantly go back. And Royal Chocobo is starting to make that top lane his own. Not just the mid player, this guy, proving that he can handle other lanes. And he's actually starting to dominate this top lane with this Cassidy. So he's becoming quite scary. They've got to think about how to deal with him. And they're going to take down this tower. So that will make up for them losing the bot tower. And the towers will be at 1 apiece. So that's really good for VGR.Black. They'll be happy with that. And there's the purple turret down, as I said.
They will be happy with that indeed. NX Ariel trading on to this Renekton in the bot lane, getting some nice damage. I actually saw him miss his Rune Prison before. He hit it on a minion instead, and that allowed Renekton to get in and get some nice damage down. But they're both just potting up at the moment. They'll be able to push the waves forward and back, and I don't think we'll see too much action there. Nice slice and dice coming out though, trying to get some intimidation factor on. And I was so wrong about Royal Chocobo rushing this Abyssal Scepter. It is proving to be really, really effective as Kennen and Rise don't have the kind of penetration they need at the moment to burst through that effectively, which is pretty much meaning that Cassidy can out-trade them both, like, very substantially.
Yep, and it's really helping him out, and he's getting himself into position to become a real nuisance for the enemy team. He has left that top lane now. He is bot, but top tower's starting to take a bit of harassment from this Kennen. I reckon this Kennen's going to want to just hang around top and try harass it down. He is actually giving Zach a lot of trouble, and now actually just going for that tower. So that tower might go down. So if Cassidy doesn't actually do anything, he may have not actually helped this team by leaving this top. He may have just lost the tower. Let's bounce comes out though. Zach getting really confident to try and take this Kennen, doing a lot of damage and healing himself up. He's decisively tanky when he's low by how much he can heal. It really throws you off, and he's doing quite well, but he is going to have to eventually back off from that Kennen, and that tower is getting low. But Royal Chocobo, now he comes, jumps in bot, he's going to go for that Zyra. Zyra will go down here, goes onto the Ignite, so Renekton picking up that kill.
Yeah, well played by both of them.
Back.
It wasn't
But they
very
will be
easy.
trading it for a tower. There goes the tower, and that's because Cassidy's no longer top. He's not dealing with that Keenan, so Keenan
Oh,
was
wow.
trading for the tower.
Kenan getting really dirty in the top
And
lane.
Israel is going to win that. He's got the red buff. It's red buff versus barrier, but he managed to do enough damage. He's going to force Tristana back, and now he's going to put a bit of rest on this tower. But both ADCs low. Having an ADC 1v1 in that mid lane. That mid tower actually taking quite a bit of damage from Israel and might even go down. They'll really want to get that mid at some point as soon as they can. Really opens up the map. It's the best tower to get down, I reckon, out of the three. There he goes. He does actually get it. So they got mid. They lost top, but they picked up a kill and they got mid. So they will be happy. VGR.Black having a lot stronger game, getting that 5-2 early lead this time, trying to make this best of 5 1-1. So it's going to be good. And here comes Nautilus jumping over the wall with a flash, trying to sit up, get Royal Choco by surprise, but he is going to just rip Warp out of there and be okay. Such a hard hero to kill.
Such a hard hero to kill indeed. So Israel did finish that Triforce. I'm not sure what he's going to go for next, but Triforce definitely gives Israel everything that he wants. He managed to rush it as well. He's got really good CS. He's actually higher than the LCS benchmark for creep stats. So he's.
And this is it. Can he jump over this dragon and steal it with a smite? He's going to try. No, he can't get it. The timing's just a bit off. But if you do that right with Zach, you can jump over the wall, stay safe, land on the safe side of the wall, and steal the dragon. So I'm glad he tried it. He was just a little bit off his timing, unfortunately. A really good attempt to get safe dragon steal. They did want to steal it. They didn't want to give it uncontested, but it is a free dragon in the end to Noxius.
Yeah, Noxious Gaming just really proving to be able to come back when they look a little bit behind. So I'm really liking how they picked up the objectives, how well that Tristana and Ryze are scaling. Tristana's already got a Blade of the Ruined King. She's not sitting on too much gold at the moment, so I'm not expecting her to get the Infinity Edge anytime soon. But Bork is a very core item for her.
Yeah,
Ryze,
you see in the jungles,
double Negatron Cloak. Wow, that's really interesting.
Committing really hard to the MR, and you'll see with the junglers, Nautilus has decided to go for the straight Aegis, skipping out the Spirit of the Ancient Golem. So the Aegis coming from VGR.Black will be a little bit slower, but it is on its way.
Really well played. So the blue buff is probably going to be gifted to the Cassidon here.
Yeah, the bottom tower is going to go down to the Israel at the same time, though, so that's what they're trading. They're not going to... The Ryze will get an easy blue. If he turns around and hits it, and he's going to rotate down, but they're going to disengage. Not going to get in that. So all three Tier 1 towers are down for Noxius. So they've got to be careful now. They want to start getting some of their own. They've got two. It's just the mid-tower stands. So that's what they will want to get at some point, but they may not be able to make that play just yet. They're actually chasing Tristana mid, so she's going to be careful. She's going to jump away, though. She's going to be fine. Cassidon upset you can chase, but he did rip off to the wrong area, unfortunately.
Yeah, so Israel has picked up a BF sword as his next item, getting some really nice damage onto this Ryze. Arcane shifts in, and
I'm loving this Trinity Force. As you said, it gives him everything he wants, so he's not going to complain about that. And it's actually really cool as a first item pickup. Unusual, but definitely working out for him.
So Zyra's got the oracles. I'm just checking to see if VGR.Black have an oracles, and they do not yet, but John is recalling and might be picking one up. So that would be really useful to pick up. Lots of wards on the map. These guys have very good ward control. It's not just the support buying the wards either. The entire team piles in the wards, and the vision is so worth it.
Yeah, the ward game's constantly changing in this meta, especially with the big changes to oracles. It's actually, I reckon it's got such a massive buff. Even though you lose a minute, it's just so powerful to keep it while you're dead. And it encourages you to do it. It encourages you to even still be a little bit more reckless while you've got an oracles up. Before you have to be so careful not to waste your gold. And now it just means you can clear the wards so much easier. And I think they've just done that right to encourage more aggressive play style, to remove wards so that more plays can be created. Because warding can be used to play such defensive lineups. So I'm glad they're trying to find a way to destroy the wards. But I feel like with that buff, it is amazing. And people got to be onto it. The ward game now is massive. You've got to be clearing wards, and you've got to constantly be placing wards. You can't slack off. That's the thing. And it's vision so important in this game.
It really is. And it's not just the support's job to ward everything for you either. You really need to step it up and buy some yourself. And it makes all the difference in the world. All the difference in the world. Oh god.
And you definitely see that. You see even Cassidon walking around. He's got 2 wards in his inventory. The team is helping out. If you play in my team, you most likely won't buy wards. I feel like my team doesn't agree with you there, Scott. I'm always buying them, but I do definitely agree that everyone needs to be helping, participating in that, because it's so crucial to have vision in this game.
It really is. True Shot Barrage coming out from the Israel, just clearing the wave away. And good stuff. Really good stuff.
Yeah, they actually haven't got Rise. Rise is rotating up to that mid, though. He definitely wants to be there for if that fight breaks out. If they actually find out about this Rise, they may be able to try and cut him off. It looks like is kind of got a feeling he's there. They do have a ward, so they did see him. He's going to pressure him out. He's going to get stunned here, but the other team can't back him up. They're not going to be able to pick him off there. They're just going to try to scare him. They're just looking for a mistake. That's what they want. They want to find someone out of position so they can fight the 5v4, which is a much smarter idea than just riding head on into a defensive setup. So they've got to be careful. It's all about breaking through these towers, and it can be so hard to fight some teams in that defensive formation. So they've just got to find an opening, and that's what they're trying to do. Baron is up, but it's far too risky to drop it right now. However, they could start dancing around it if they have the right wards to control the vision and try find the pick off or force a mistake out of their opponents.
Yeah, so now we're around the 20-minute mark. Tristana's actually built a Zeal instead of a BF sword-based item as her next core item after that Blade of the Ruined King. I think that's probably fine. The attack speed and the move speed really do help her out, as well as the critical strike damage. Looking at other items, Nautilus has picked up his Bulwark, which is pretty core as well. Definitely against Cassidy as well, trying to mitigate some of that huge...
Especially with a Rise that's got a double Negatron choke cloak as well, so much MR will be on that Rise in those team fights.
That's so true, yeah. I didn't really think about that. It's more of a tank Rise than a damage Rise in my opinion. He does both roles very well, so... And we're seeing that this Kitten has finished his Zhonya's. Looks like he's going to get Abyssal Scepter next, so some more MR on his team. It's really good as well. Zyra has just picked up a Sightstone, Philosopher's Stone, and has a bunch of wards. On the other side, it looks like Ezreal's actually going to go for an Infinity Edge. He's already picked up a pickaxe as well, so I'm guessing that's where the itemization is heading.
And how are you feeling about this build from Ezreal? I definitely don't think Triforce to straight Infinity Edge is what you would call standard build.
No, but it scales better than a normal Ezreal's build path, so maybe he's trying to match how well this Tristana is going to scale into the late game by changing his
probably
item.
seen the late game lineup coming from Noxius as well and thinking about what can we do when we get there, because they have a lot of big threats. So maybe you're right there, maybe that's what he's thinking about. He wants to find a way to match the power coming out from Tristana later on.
And the You Belong Museum call's coming out from Zeratul, sitting on top of the ward, so they know that they can see it. And it looks like this dragon is going to go down. Oh, I was actually showing up on my map. That's really interesting. Is the dragon...
Oh, I've got an invisible dragon. Yep, we got the invisible dragon coming down. It's a pretty common strategy amongst teams. No, he's come. He's finally revealed himself. His invis is over. It's a pretty sneaky dragon. He's learned a few things from Twitch, but he's back. He's finally gone down. Dragon invis. It even happened to these guys. That's quite a rare little glitch to see. Quite funny.
So this is looking good. Rise just clearing everything away. That dragon was gone.
Was that dragon ever visible for you, or did it spawn invisible?
It spawned invisible for me, and the calls are coming out from chat that the dragon was invisible for them as well. Maybe they initiated it with using attack click, so it initiates a fight with the closest target. So that's really interesting, having an invisible dragon on the map.
I don't think by any means it was a deliberate thing. I think it was just one of those very rare mistakes. And hey, what are the chances we're going to witness it in a grand final match? So we'll enjoy that when we can. The old invisible Baron buff bug, something I will remember for a while. Quite a humorous little add-on to our game.
Yeah, it is. So, how do you think this game is going to progress from here? There's no really big objectives left on the map apart from turrets. And do you think we're going to see VGR.Black or Noxius Gaming set up for a siege? Or do you think... What do you think the plan is going to be for these teams from here?
I think it's all about... They seem to be fine farming. Both teams don't seem to mind to take the creeps. I feel like they're just waiting for mistakes. Both teams are very reactive teams at the moment. And maybe because they're in the grand final, but it's very reactive plays actually just coming out from both the teams. No one's really going for the big aggressive moves. They're more just hanging around, hoping to force mistakes out of their opponents that they can then capitalize on. It's not too surprising to see in a grand final to see teams play the more reactive style. I'm more for a whole lot of aggression and forcing plays, mean aggressive play styles, but I can understand why you'd be a bit more reluctant to play, let's say, I wouldn't say smarter, but safer.
Yeah, definitely safer. Alright, so we're seeing a 5-man siege from VGR.Black in this mid lane. I'm not sure that's what they want. Cannon's ult is going to be absolutely huge, and there's so much magic resistance sitting on Noxious Gaming that they could really fend off this Kassadin. He doesn't have enough spell penetration to get through the amount of MR that this team is bringing to the table. Rise is actually sitting on 147, which is absolutely huge. So he's almost taking no damage at all from this Kassadin.
Yeah, so there's going to be a little bit of pressure on Iz. Maybe that's also why he's going for the big Infinity Edge item, which he does have, because he needs to get that 80 damage in, because they're focusing so hard on stopping that magic damage going through. So he's going to have to be take a bit of responsibility for setting out a lot of the damage. We're going to see the Initiate here, keen on the chase. We're going to see a good disengage today from Jana, but it is going to get hooked, and it is the Iz. But here comes the Zoro ult, followed by Lex Bounce. But actually, Jana's saving a lot of them, pushing them back. Maybe not the greatest ult by her, but we are going to see this chase up, and it is going to be Nautilus go down, and Jana, a lot of trouble on this Tristana. Tristana's exhausted. She is going to rocket jump back, but she's low, and here comes the Kassadin. Rip walking in, and he could have a good chance here. There goes the Rise too. Will Roy will Chocobo follow up? He most likely will. Yeah, there we go. The Rip walk up. Tristana just getting away, but that's the Initiate they're waiting for. The score's now 9 for 2, 4 for 1 down. Trish just surviving, and that's the fight they were looking for. They're now going to take Taran easily. It's going to go down. They're probably going to try also push. They still got 14 seconds till another 2 heroes are up. It's just one Tristana by themselves. I do believe they're going to go for this tower. That is the right move to make. They're going to go for it. If they really risk it, they're going to try and take the inhibitor as well. I think they should. It will be worth it, and they will go for it. So they've got a tower, they've got an inhib, and they went 4 for 1. Although 4 for none, was it? Did nobody die? No. What an amazing fight.
4 for none.
Really well done by VGR.Black.
Yeah, 2 cards and an inhibitor off the back of that. They're all sitting on so much gold at the moment, and this Israel's really making the plays for his team. He does so much damage based on that Trinity Force, based on that Infinity Edge, now he has the Last Whisper as well.
Yeah, the Israel's actually spitting out so much damage. He munched away at that Nautilus before anything could happen. Jana threw out a bit of a questionable ultimate, to be honest. She did throw a lot of them away from what they're trying to set up. Maybe that's just actually pushing everyone away from the Zara ultimate. I'm not too sure where she was going with that, but they managed to chase it up fine, so that did not matter. And they actually did really, really well in that team fight.
They did indeed. Israel's actually putting for 700 damage. That's something you don't see very often. It's all usually based around his Mystic shots. This time it's more based around his auto attacks. So a very cool build to see. He's actually leading the map on 313 CS. The next closest person is on 216. So he's got more CS than I could probably ever expect an OCE player to get, because he's getting more than the 10 CS per minute, which is pretty much the benchmark for professional players. So
yeah,
he's doing
and you just see him
well.
Swipe out about another 6 range creeps with that ultimate from the bot lane, and he's actually destroying the CS chart. You're right, he's nearly 100 CS over that Tristana. So even though Tristana maybe tipped towards being more of the hyper carrier out of the two, the Israel with 100 more CS and 4 kills under his belt, he's now the big scary AD in the game. It's not Tristana, and they really can't underestimate it. And the problem is, they've invested so much against Royal Chocobo's Kassadin that there isn't actually that much armor coming out from the team to stop his damage as well. And that's going to be Baron buff. That's really going to help him out. And Royal Chocobo's getting a little bit up there. He's feeling good on his Kassadin. He's trying to try to see if he can put the pressure up in the mid lane. He's sitting on 323 AP. He has got his Zonya's Hourglass up, so he can save himself from a little bit of a bad situation. He's going to jump in, put a little bit of harassment on the Kenan. He has to get a bit of trouble because they're going to follow that up. He's going to have to jump out of there. But in the meantime, they're going to get the tier 2 tower at top, and that's the distraction of Kassadin. They've got to deal with Cass, but at the same time, they're split pushing with 4, and it is so deadly. So they've got to work out what they want to do now. Cass is jumping in and putting pressure on the Zarya. He's got his Zonya's. He's going to stall time, so now he can just ult back again over the wall, but he's going to get stunned, actually, and a lot of damage, and shut down. Really unfortunate. He was too confident there, and he got punished for it. He thought he'd be able to jump back across. He was not, but that is damage so strong. But now Iz might make the same mistake. So confident to jump over the wall. Zac finally comes over. He's going to jump back to safety, and Tristana takes a bit of damage, but she's in a safe position. She can still put out a bit of DPS if she wants. They're going to back up though now. Renekton's in. They got their wall up. They finally got in on the high ground. Iz is going to take the tower. So they did end up working it out. A little bit of a sketchy, aggressive play, but I do like it. Confident wall jumps. Kassadin did go down, but they got the tower. So they're breaking into the high ground. That's what's really important. They've already got the mid inhibitor down, and now the top one's exposed and half health. They're getting the right way to ending this game.
They are really doing that. So that is one inhibitor already broken, and they've opened up the top inhibitor, and I feel like they're going to go back and buy. They're all selling quite a lot of gold, and when they come back, they're going to be able to maybe even end this game just straight up. Yep, sorry?
The Kassadin, he does so much damage, and he wants to just pick off these back people. He does have to be careful not to get picked off like that, but if they can be that successful once he's dead and picked off in the 4v5, still take the tower, you've got to be worried right now if you're Noxius.
Renekton.
Regardless, though,
Yep,
if
sorry.
you wanted heroes that could turn this game late, if you wanted to have some heroes that could still farm up, if you can stall, if you can just keep your Nexus alive, Tristana and Ryze are two of those heroes you're going to be happy to have on your side. So they do have the hypers, but it's just going to be, can they stall this game out? Can they get the bigger items? And can they start winning some of these team fights? It's an 11k advantage towards VGR.Black, and they have got 5 extra turrets as well, so it is looking stressful.
And it's getting to that point in the game as well where the hyper carries should start hyper carrying, but if they don't very soon, it's gonna be that this Israel and this Cassidy Knight is gonna be able to walk all over them, and we've seen that for the past 32 minutes, and I think it might even continue this trend. And all the lane swaps that Team VGR.Black were doing were just so effective in starting this lead.
Yeah, most definitely, and it's really good to see them actually just capitalizing a game from the start. They looked a bit out of shape in the first round. They actually got quite punished by Noxius, and I was starting to wonder, was it going to be a one-sided best-of-5 series? But we've seen here a complete flip of the table, and it's completely changed. It's now VGR.Black putting the pressure on and carrying from the start. So we actually might have a really good series ahead of us, and that's what I'm excited about. Roy Chocobo has picked up a kill on the Keenan, and that's a really massive pick to get. They're going to get a pretty easy inhibitor now, you would imagine, with that one core hero down, but you never know. Ryze is doing what he can to protect that, but they're going to split push, and there you go. Israel killing a guy, getting killed bot. I did not see that, sadly, and it's going to be Nautilus going too. So this is most likely going to be GG. They've got the double kill down. They've got too many heroes in the base. They're pushing both sides. Renekton's now up top, about to get the double. Can he get it? Yes, he definitely can. That's surely going to be GG. All the inhibitors are up, but they're all about to go down. If they can get that bot tower as well, I'm sure they'll be able to. They might just opt to go for the win instead of getting all the inhibitors.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the better option. So they're just going to go for the win here. It's going to be GG. Really, really well played. That lane swap mid ending to be the big deciding factor. Edge just got taken away, got really big. They managed to get Cassidy well farmed at that top lane in big into the game. And I think that was the deciding factor. Those lane switch was too strong. And they played really well. That's GG. So we're going to 1-all in the best of 5. So it's going to be a really good series. So stick around. We're going to have game 3 coming up soon, I suppose.
Yeah, we will. We'll get into it straight away. As best of 5 is a big series, so we're going to get these games just rolling back to back. If you'd like to take a break now, and we'll get this game started, and we can cast as soon as we're back. So.